Hey guys, Arleesha here. Welcome to another video. I have a painting to share with you today, but first I want to show you some stuff in my sketchbook that I did in preparation for this piece. So you're seeing lots of swatches and tiny little thumbnail sketches where I was trying to kind of pin down the idea of what I wanted for this piece. I went back and forth a lot and ultimately felt like the idea I went with was pretty far away from that initial first sketch that I did, but that's alright because it's always something that I could come back to and explore again. There really are no rules with this kind of thing. I'm going to also be using these paints that you're seeing the color chart for here. These are actually handmade paints that I ordered not too long ago from Penholder Art UK on Instagram. His name is Dan, and he makes watercolor paints and sells them online. I'll leave all of his links down below. This is technically not a review for these paints. I just wanted to try them out and I want to spend some more time working with them, and I do want to get to reviewing them for you guys once I have spent a bit more time with them. I'm sure some of my thoughts concerning these paints will just surface during the course of this video. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to share this with you. It's kind of no secret at this point that I've been struggling for what feels like a really long time, kind of been a couple months now, with just feeling like I need to grow with my art and I need to learn new techniques and learn new things to continue to grow and to improve and get better. And I've kind of been going through, I guess, some growing pains in doing that. And I can't really say where I'm at in that process currently, if I'm over it or if I'm getting better or whatever it is, but it's happening and we're getting there, and I keep making art, so that's good, right? That's a good thing. You also will have seen earlier the original sketch for this piece. I ended up flipping it horizontally so that the character was facing in the opposite direction. I was kind of flipping my sketch back and forth and trying to decide which pose or composition I liked better, and this one I just liked a bit more in the end, and so I ended up going with this. I do really like how this piece turned out overall. Even though the range of colors that I have here is fairly wide, there's still something really kind of soft and earthy about the colors overall, and very natural looking, and I feel like that really shines in the finished piece. This piece did make me realize, though, that I really want to continue to push myself to experiment with skin tones. I have been painting a wider variety of skin tones, like practice things in my sketchbooks and pieces that I've just been doing in my own time, not for videos, but I'm starting to feel like the pieces that I do mostly for YouTube videos have a very similar, they fall into a very similar range as far as skin tones go, and I really want to push myself to create more content for you guys that shows that wider variety. Sometimes I just default to my rainbow skin and then it doesn't really fall into a specific ethnic category, so I can just go, it's rainbow skin, it's every color, and that works pretty well. But this one made me realize that I do want to experiment with more specific skin tones outside of the range that this one falls in, so I'm hoping to do that soon. I kept trying to think about what exactly it was that I wanted to talk to you guys about during this video, and I had a lot of trouble figuring it out, but all I knew, the most important thing that I knew, was that I did want to talk to you, because it does feel like a little while since I've just taken my time to just share my thoughts on things about how I'm doing. And I mean, we've been doing some reviews and specific product related things a lot lately, and those are great. That kind of stuff is really fun and really cool. But I think it's important also for me to just kind of check in with you guys personally. And yeah, so let me know how you guys are doing, because I always really love hearing from you. I personally am still trying really hard to adjust to this whole one video a week schedule. For some reason, I know that it's better for me to make fewer videos a week instead of doing two, just doing one. But I often find myself wanting to like push myself and create more content, and then when I'm only doing once a week, somehow it just kind of throws off the vibe of the entire week, and I don't know. I hope that makes some sort of sense. So I'm still kind of trying to adjust to feeling generally purposed and knowing how much work I want to do in a day and how much time to spend on other things. One benefit that there is to the fact that I've been making just one video a week, and this is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, is I feel like the art community in general, whether you watch art videos on YouTube or you follow your favorite artists on Instagram, and whether you're an artist yourself or not, I feel like it's a really great community, and it's a really exciting thing to be a part of. But I feel like there's this overarching stress to kind of constantly be creating, and you see what other people are making, and it's just this constant feed of new videos and new posts and new art, and it can weigh so heavily on an artist. I know I feel that a lot personally is when I see other people making art. If I'm not in a great mindset, I end up just beating myself up because I'm not always making art, and because I have been doing one video a week instead of two, I've really allowed myself to kind of slow my pace and spend more time on other things and just allow my work time in general to not be as high stress overall. Check out the weird effect that this color has. I can't remember what the specific color was. I'll put the color name on the screen, but it had this like bubbliness to it. It was almost like the paint was carbonated. I know that sounds really silly. Maybe there's just something in the makeup of the paint itself that causes it to bubble and sort of fizz. It does it in the pan and on the palette. I didn't notice any sort of strange texture once the paint was on the paper though. Anyway, that constant stress of feeling like I always need to be creating is just so overwhelming, and I was wondering about classic artists who were creating art as their career before we had the internet. I'm sure that stress existed in like a different capacity when artists would create new works and they would be shown in galleries, and it would be a similar sort of thing where an artist would walk through and think that they just had to do better or work harder or do more. And while that can be encouraging and it can be motivating sometimes, I oftentimes have to remind myself that so much of that structure, that entire societal structure, that entire community ecosystem sort of thing, a lot of it's just in our heads. The world isn't going to fall apart if I don't make 8 beautiful finished paintings every single day. And here's one of the biggest things that making just one video a week has helped me to kind of remember, and I didn't realize I had forgotten it. My life isn't all about making art. And I know that sounds kind of blasphemous maybe, or like a crazy thing to say, because art is my job. It's not just art that is my job. It's creating content and being a person on the internet. I mean, if I wanted to just create art as a job, I could just show my paintings in galleries and not do any social media, or especially a YouTube channel. I mean, that just is a different sort of thing. And I know it sounds a lot like I'm babbling, but I really enjoy talking to you guys like this, so I hope you don't really mind. Here's that taping technique again, where I turn my paper over before I start painting, and I tape it down as if you were normally going to tape down a piece of paper on the edges, but then I flip it over so the sketch side that will be the painting side is up, and I tape it down on top of that tape, which allows me to paint all the way to the edges of my paper. The only thing I don't like about this process is that it actually uses a lot of tape, like twice as much tape, of course, than if I was taping the edges normally onto the front of the paper. And some of you guys had some really great suggestions for this, like using double-sided tape that just goes onto the back. My only concern with kind of something like that is I'm worried about the tape ripping the paper. So if you guys have any recommendations about affixing or preparing my paper in a way that allows me to paint to the edges without having to use up so much tape, just let me know. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Really, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about anything and everything, because hearing from you just makes me happy. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys like this painting, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend also. And it feels good to just make a video where I just paint a thing and talk to you guys. So I hope you're all doing very well, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye, guys.